Welcome students to our online classes. Myself Ashwini Honkar is going to explain you a lesson combustion and flame. Now students, just see the picture. Here you can observe a burning candle, right? A burning candle. So a combustion is nothing but burning process, right? A combustion nothing but a burning process. So just observe how the candle is burning over here. It is burning with a nice flame, right? Yes. In this lesson, we are going to study about combustion, right? So what is combustion? A chemical process in which a substance react with the oxygen to give off heat and light is called as a combustion. What we can say? A chemical process in which a substance react with the oxygen to give off heat and light is called as a combustion. So the burning of wood is also an example for combustion. A burning of candle is also an example of combustion. Now, now we are going to see that a combustible and non-combustible substance, a substance which undergo the process of combustion and which will not undergo any process of combustion, that we are going to see. A substances which easily catch fire are combustible substance, which easily catch fire. So, for example, wood, books. Yes, we can observe here how papers are burning over, woods are burning over here, right? Now this is the example for combustible materials. And now the substances which do not catch fire readily are non-combustible substances such as sand, water, glass. So these are the substances which never go easily with the combustion process, right? Now we are going to study about fuel. So you all are familiar with the petrol, diesel, kerosene, right? So these all are fuels, right? Any substance which upon combustion produces a usable amount of energy is known as a fuel. So even a mel- the candle is a the wax of candle is also a fuel. We can say it is also a type of fuel. Now, for example, fossil fuels, biogas, nuclear energy, these all are example for fuel. You can see a petrol is also a good example for fuel. Fuels can be solid, liquid or gas depending on their states. They depend on their states. Now see, on the basis of their occurrence, it can be either natural or artificial. They are natural or artificial. Now, so we are dividing the substances as natural and artificial. So how they are natural and artificial? So naturally, fossil fuels we are getting, that is they are natural fuels. But by the fossil fuels, if we will undergo many processes, then we will get some other substances. They are artificial substances. They are artificial fuels. Now the wax is a good example for artificial fuel, right? Now what is ignition temperature? Ignition temperature means the temperature, the amount of temperature that substance will be burnt, the amount of temperature the substance will be burnt. So that temperature is called as a ignition temperature. So how to define it? The lowest temperature at which a combustible substance catches fire when heated in the air is called as a ignition temperature, is called its ignition temperature. Now for example, if we will take a paper cone and pour a water, and in another paper you just keep it empty. So now burn that both papers in the candle. So which will burnt easily? No doubt the empty paper will burnt easily. because the amount of heat which is released over in the candle, it will be absorbed by the water to heat the water. So the paper will not catch the heat easily. But here it is empty, so the ignition temperature of paper is very less, but here it increase because of water. Here it increase because of water. So the paper will burn very easily. Now, inflammable substance. What are inflammable substances? The substances which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with a flame are known as a inflammable substance. So sometimes what will happen, we will keep the substance very far, then also they will catch the fire very easily. It may be far, then also they catch the fire easily. For example, diesel, petrol, LPG, acetone. These are the good example. They are the inflammable substances. What we will call them as inflammable substances. So here the petrol and diesel, LPG cylinder, they are very good examples. Now what is fire? So, fire is a result of a chemical combustion reaction between oxygen, some sort of fuel. So, fire, what we can say about the fire? Fire is a result of a chemical combustion reaction between oxygen and some sort of fuel. So, how long a fire lasts depends on how much fuel and oxygen are available. So, what it means? So, what is fire? When we are have the combustible substance, with that some amount of oxygen we need, and the substance will be burned. So how much it depends, how much amount of substance is present and how much amount of oxygen is available. So it depends on all this, so that much time fire will be there. Now, even the candle flame is also a good example. So, what it is? See, how much amount of wax is present and how much amount of wax is present. So, on that base, the candle will be burnt. Now, fire triangle. For a generation of a fire, we need three things to be present simultaneously. It is called as a fire triangle. So, which are those three substances? First one is a fuel. First one is a fuel, and second one is a source of a raise the temperature, a heat source to raise the temperature of a fuel to its ignition temperature. It is called as a ignition temperature. So some amount of ignition temperature we need. So why ignition temperature only? Why not a temperature? Suppose if you keep the paper at 1 kilometer distance and you start the fire to burn from 1 kilometer far, whether the paper will burn or what? No, it's not possible. So you have to keep that fire near to the paper, then only paper will burn, at least near, so that time the paper will burn. So that time this temperature is called as a ignition temperature, right? So if then third one is enough oxygen. What we need? Enough oxygen. So these three substances are very important to burn the fire. That's why we are calling them as a fire triangle. Okay. Next is flame. So what is flame? Flame is the visible and gaseous part of the fire. Flame is the visible and gaseous part of the fire. So the flame is the light energy released due to the combustion of fuel. It is a light energy released by the combustion of fuel. So zone of candle. So these are different zones of candle. At the beginning we saw how the candle is burning. So these are the different zones. This is the outermost part, which is the hottest part of the candle, and it is called as the outer zone of complete combustion part. Now at the middle we can say moderately hot. It is moderately hot, right? So it is least hot, which is near to the wicks. Then it is a middle zone of a partial combustion, which will be burned with a yellow color, that is partial combustion, and it will call it the middle zone. So it is a wax of candle and innermost of unburnt wax, that is black in color, which is unburnt. Yes. Now structure of flame. The outermost zone is the hottest among all zones and is blue in color, and this is due to complete combustion. It is the non luminous part of the flame. The middle zone of the candle flame is moderately hot and is yellow in color. The partial combustion fuel takes place. It is the bright part of the flame. So, it is the bright part of the flame. Now, the next concept is smoke. So, have you ever observed the smoke in your surrounding? Many times, right? So, in the surrounding, your neighbors are burning the papers, woods, everything, right? And the whatever smoke is producing, it will pollute the air. It will pollute the air. The smoke is an example of solid, or we can say unburnt particles dispersed in a gas. The black color of smoke is due to the presence of unburnt carbon particles in the smoke. So, when the substances which not fully burnt, that time some particles of unburnt will be remain in the air or in the gas, that time we can call it as a smoke. Now, types of combustion. The type of combustion in which a heat and light are released is a very short span of a time is called as a rapid combustion. So what will happen when the combustion process will be going on, that time heat and light energy will be released, and it will be happen, the combustion process will be happen within a short time. So that time, that is called as a rapid combustion. So LPG is a very good example. LPG is very good example, because if you take a lighter and suddenly if you start this burner, it will be burnt very easily. It will burn very easily. The type of combustion in which the substance catch fire on their own without the application of heat is termed as a spontaneous combustion. It is called as a spontaneous combustion. For example, forest fire. So we people are going and burning the fire forest or what? No, it is a natural process. It is what? It is a natural process. So it is called as a spontaneous combustion. Now, the matchstick. What is matchstick? How it is made up of? A red color, you can see a matchstick here, and with its top is colored with a red. So that red color is nothing but a red phosphorus. It is what? It is a red phosphorus. And the main component of a bulb of a matchstick is red phosphorus. It is a red phosphorus. White phosphorus spontaneously ignites, thereby increasing the temperature, and it starts burning. It starts burning. So how the matchstick is working? The matchstick is made up with a red phosphorus, and uh, when it will be mixed, when it will be uh, touch with the matchstick box, it starts burning. Now, fire extinguisher. So what is fire extinguisher? So whatever material present in this fire extinguisher, it is called as a dry ice. What we will call it as dry ice. So fire control. What is the work of this dry ice? To control the fire. To control the fire. So fire can be controlled by removing any or all of the factors of the combustion. So we already know that fire needs three factors. One is combustible material, oxygen, and ignition temperature. So if we will remove any one of these three, then we can control the fire. We can able to control the fire, and that work is done by or doing by this powder. What is it? It is a fire extinguisher. Now, the fire extinguisher is a device used by the fire brigades to control fire. The role of the fire extinguisher is to cut off the supply of oxygen to bring down the temperature of the fuel or both. Now, what is calorific value? the amount of heat released by unit weight or unit volume of a substance during complete combustion. So, when there will be a complete combustion, the amount of heat released by one unit weight or a unit weight or unit volume, it is called its calorific value. Now, ideal fuel. Which is ideal fuel? Ideal fuel means the fuel which will be very easily available. It is affordable to the peoples, normal peoples, and it will be useful, very useful. It will be not affect to the nature also. So it is called as a ideal fuel. So ideal fuel is a cheap, easily available, readily combustible, and it has high calorific value. Means it will burn very slowly. It does not produce harmful gases or reduces that pollute to the environment. So, CNG is a very good example for ideal fuel. So, nowadays many people are using CNG. Now, calorific value and efficiency of fuel. What is the relation between them? Let us see. So, what is calorific value? That already we studied, right? What is calorific value? The amount of heat energy produced on a complete combustion of 1 kg of a fuel, it is called as its calorific value. The calorific value of a fuel is expressed in a unit called kilojoule. It is expressed in the unit called kilojoule. And what is efficiency of fuel? Efficiency is that proportion of energy released by a fuel combustion process which is converted into useful work. Which is converted into useful work. So, how the calorific value efficiency will be there, the calorific value will be there. So, calorific value is directly proportional. So, as the efficiency is more, calorific value will be more. Calorific value is directly proportional to its efficiency. If the value is high, its efficiency will also be high. If the value is low, its efficiency would also be low. So, what is pollution? We already know that how different types of pollutants are there. Pollution is there, and harmful products from burning of fuel is also producing. There will be a air pollution, right? Water pollution. So, how the harmful products burns and gives the fuel? They will burn and produce the pollution. The burning of fuel like wood, coal, and petroleum products releases unburnt carbon particles in the air, which causes respiratory problem. Which causes respiratory problems. So, incomplete combustion of a fuel produces a very poisonous gas called a carbon monoxide, which is also affects our health. So this is a type. Then even the burning of fuel releases carbon dioxide in the air environment, which causes global warming. So even the global warming will be increased. The how greenhouse effect will be there. Because of greenhouse effect, again we will fall ill. Again ozone layer will be get spoiled, right? So these all will be happen because of pollution. Now, unburnt carbon particles. So carbon fuel like wood, coal, candle, petroleum releases unburnt carbon particles. They will release unburnt carbon particles. These fine particles are dangerous pollutants causing respiratory diseases. So just now we studied how the diseases will be produced by the pollution, and because of unburnt particles also the diseases will come. Now, CO emission. CO emission means carbon monoxide emission. Carbon monoxide emission. So, carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas which is produced by incomplete combustion of fuel. So, whenever we will burn the fuel, the complete combustion will be there. If it is an incomplete combustion, then the gas which will be turned as a carbon monoxide. It is dangerous to burn coal in a closed room as a carbon monoxide produced can kill a person sleeping in that room. So, because of unburnt particles, even the person may die because of carbon monoxide. Now, let us see about global warming. So, what is global warming? So, as the reducing amount of plant, even The increasing amount of factories, atmosphere, chemicals, whatever, which producing pollution. Because of that, the global warming is increasing. The global warming is increasing, and you can see how our earth is turned from green or blue to the red. So, as how the heat is increased because of global warming. Even the melting of polar ice cubes will be there. The melting of ice cubes, and it will convert in the form of fully water. This is also because of global warming. Now, CNG, the clean fuel. The clean fuel, why it is called as a clean fuel? Because it will not, it will produce less amount of pollution. The use of diesel or petrol as fuel in the automobiles is being replaced by CNG, which will be explained as a compressed natural gas, because it is a less polluting and cleaner fuel. It is a less polluting and cleaner fuel. Thank you.